talking about the NXT call-ups.
They're not really call-ups, though.
They are and they aren't, because they're going to be working all 3 shows for the foreseeable future, which all 4 of these guys are going to be pretty freaking busy. But, okay, so there's a lot of complaints, and I agree with, that there's a lot of confusing things.
It's funny you say that, but in reality, they're not going to be... If they're not doing the house show circuit, then literally they're only going to fly in for 2 TV tapings, go back home, and once a month work the NXT taping. So it's really actually not that bad of a deal if you think about it.
But
because NXT tapes on Thursdays at Full Sail, so they will actually miss the first run of most of those house show circuits. So even if they join it later, it's really no different than traveling. In reality, they actually get an extra day.
Yeah, I suppose that might be true.
I actually would take that deal over everything else.
But the funny thing is, a lot of people are complaining, well, Ciampa and Gargano are blood feuding, which I actually agree with that. It probably not the smartest idea to try to...
But they're not really blood feuding any pushing their characters.
But they kind of are.
Well, now they're doing doing a I believe I'm still better than you thing. They're not doing a I hate you thing anymore. They're doing like a competitive...
Now it's an I don't need you.
Yeah.
Because they had Ciampa... Because they had Ciampa watch Gargano's match.
Correct. But then, you see them on Raw and SmackDown, and they're playing, sort of face characters.
Yeah, that's what I saw, a thing is it's Ciampa is heel, but everyone's like, yeah, but this is a great moment for you. And he's like, I don't want to.
Well, I kind of agree with him in that sense.
I don't want to be happy, I want to be evil, the Skeletor meme.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. I don't want to be happy. I want to be evil.
I agree with him in that sense because
I want to be evil.
He plays such a good heel. And I like him better as a heel.
He's way better as a heel.
So for selfish reasons, I want to see him remain a heel.
Not that he's awful as a face, but when you're that much better at being a heel, why the fuck be a face?
His, I'm happy to see him called up. I just hope they don't ruin him like they've ruined everybody else. And I feel the same about Aleister Black.
Yes, but I've also heard that Vince has seen Aleister Black before and really likes him.
Well, he has, because he had him wrestling on freaking Velocity or whatever for a couple weeks.
Oh, by the way, Tony, I know you're not listening to the show, or at least I assume you're not. I don't care how much you hate Aleister Black, all because he can't cut a promo. His work rate does not suck, and you come across as an ignorant wrestling fan when you say he can't work.
Oh, and I think he can actually... I think he can cut a promo when he wants to.
I think I would agree his promo work needs some polishing.
It may need some work, but I think he's definitely far and away not the worst promo guy.
But if you're going to try and... You can't convince me somebody like him can't work. You can't convince an insider that a guy can't work when they clearly can. That's what always pissed me off about Bobby G always criticizing Dean Ambrose and saying he couldn't work. I'm like, how can he work? Explain to me how he's not working well.
Get me started on the latest Bobby G thing I saw.
Well, the last thing that he pretty much boiled down to was, I don't like his style. It was basically what it translated to. I'm like, that doesn't mean he can't work. You know who couldn't work? David Otunga. That guy could not actually work. He didn't know how to draw. He didn't know how to pace himself. He didn't know how to put psychological intricacies on his matches.
So of course that guy's a 2-time tag team champion.
Of course he is. Not the point.
But yeah,
so lots of people who can't work end up getting rewarded like that.
But there's a lot of negative going on about these call-ups, and I'm like, but why? This is kind of like, I understand it's kind of causing a rift between Triple H and Vince because they're not talking to each other about it. But at the end of the day, this is a stepping stone in the right direction, despite the fact that it kind of guts NXT a little bit.
But they're going to still be there.
It's going to happen. It is going to happen once or twice a year, every year. NXT's top stars need to move up to keep things fresh and to keep things, just to keep things
I think this is a stepping stone in the right direction because they need to start changing things up.
Well, I'm a big fan of. I'm sorry, but my favorite thing right now on WWE television is Lacey Evans showing up, strutting her shit, and walking away. I think it's brilliant.
She's so traditional.
I just don't understand it.
She's so traditional.
She's traditional. Yeah, she's not doing anything. She's showing up to basically throw it in your face that she's better than what she perceives as what's happening in the ring.
Act like
it's actually a really simple character trait that works.
And might lead her into a title match at WrestleMania.
I know, against Asuka of all people, which Asuka will eat her alive, but
yeah, well, that's still up in the air too because it was there, and then supposedly it's not, and that WWE is still or Vince in particular is still very high on Lacey because he thinks that she's one of those people who will be multifaceted, not just in the ring but outside of the company as well. So he's like, I want to market her in a way where, you know,
I think she has the face for it, and by that I mean she's white.
Well,
no, she got that all-American girl going for her. I think that's marketable.
I think it's very marketable.
I think it's a shame that they changed her name because her fucking real name is Macy Estrella, which is a fucking great worker name.
Yeah,
her name was fucking Macy Star, bitch.
But to be fair, they also changed Barbie Blank to Kelly Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and her name is just so fucking that's what she is. She's a fucking Barbie doll.
Well, they also changed Richard Blood to Ricky Steamboat because they were just like, yeah, you can't be a babyface if your last name is Blood.
Oh. Yeah, but it was also a big freaking thing to him because they'd be like, oh yeah, he's Sam Steamboat's nephew, and he was just instantly over.
I remember when I found out Blood, I was like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, the greatest wrestlers of the 80s box set.
Yeah. I was like, come on, that's a perfect wrestling name.
And they talked about what his workout was before he started training. And I was like, that workout sounds exhausting. And he's like, there was nothing compared to what fucking Iron Sheik made us do. And I was like, well, yeah, I guess if Iron Sheik was running Vern's school at the time.
Because Iron Sheik is, okay, 50 squat thrusts, now snort a line.
No, I think it was like push-ups. It was like you go on that guy's shoulders, and then you with him on your shoulders go up 5 flights of stairs. And that was like the start of the day.
Carry this mirror for me.
My other favorite was when somebody would come up with their gimmick name and they'd act like they were so great about it, like when Lance Storm debuted as Lance T. Storm, and the guy who was first booking him was like, I came up with the T. It stands for thunder. And they're just like, oh, okay, because what else was it going to stand for?
It stands for the.
Lance the Storm! Hey, we got a title for the episode now. Lance the Storm? And it works, too, because I was just talking about Lance Storm earlier with the KO thing, where he's like, he just calls soda pop? What the hell? Or pop, he said, did they just call pop soda? And immediately I was like, where's Chev? Where's Midwest Chef?
Like, it just, like things being called different things in different areas, I get, but like, pop, it makes no sense.
All right, here I got.
Neither does calling a Mountain Dew Coke.
Yeah, calling everything Coke is the only thing worse.
Yeah, Georgia Ellis. Your home state screwed up.
Fucking everything's Coke.
Here, have a Coke. Wait, this is a Coke.
Y'all want a Coke? Yeah, Mountain Dew, please.
I get it. The Coca-Cola factory is in Georgia. I get it. But what the hell? Their favorite is all right, what do you call them? Lightning bug or firefly?
Lightning bug.
Lightning bug.
Either.
Firefly is apparently not a dialect for New Jersey, but I always called them lightning bugs.
They were always lightning bugs, and they still are.
Look at my fireflies.
Or is it a sub, a hoagie, or a grinder? That's another good one.
Fuck you. It's a sub. every time I hear somebody call it a grinder, I want to strangle them.
You want to grind them?
Trying to grind you up.
Like I can live with hoagie, but it's definitely not a grinder.
Hulk's Hoagies, the sandwich shop starring Hulk Hogan. Hulk's Hoagies, brother.
10 inches or less.
Yeah, home of the 8 inches or more. You can
you only have 10 inches or the 2 inches.
You can either order your sandwich as a Balea or
a Hogan. A Hogan's Hoagies. Anyway, we still have some news here.
Yeah, I need to patent this idea. The rest of the Vince stories is that he is actually the one who asked for Roman to appear on Raw this week because of the whole Star Power thing.
He didn't ask.
You're gonna come to Raw.
Just like how he makes people retire on Raw. He's like, "You're coming to Raw and you're retiring."
He flat from what the stories are saying. He flat out demanded Roman show up.
And also, word is Roman Reigns will be working a trios match.
I heard that, and I really, really happy.
I think it's a bad idea.
I think he's going to hold the rope and then punch somebody, and that's the end of the match.
I really, really don't want him to get back.
I think it's a bad idea. I think it's a bad idea, but whatever. I don't.
I've been through what he's been through. It's not a good idea.
Vince is also apparently talking to Serena Williams to do.
Actually, Vince is not. Stephanie is.
Well, weird, but okay. Not the worst celebrity I've ever heard to work Mania, but we also unnecessary right now.
Supposedly, she's very high on the idea.
Well, she's high on something. People coming up with these ideas. Last piece of news regarding the WWE. We only have one AEW news tidbit. I don't know if you guys heard this, but Undertaker's actually working StarCast 2. He's going to be making an appearance. We kind of discussed that last week. And Vince ain't happy.
No, Vince is pissed.
He doesn't want him to do it, but
he's actually trying. He's trying to find a way to get Undertaker to work WrestleMania this year.
Yeah, well, he has no legal precedent over him right now because Undertaker's technically not contracted.
And technically retired.
And also, technically, everyone that works for them as a wrestler isn't contracted.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Because your loophole to not give them benefits is also a loophole for them to do whatever the fuck they want sometimes.
Yup. Yup. Last piece of news involving AEW. If you guys were wondering how they were going to get around that big wave of talent for Double or Nothing, don't worry. Over the budget Battle Royal has been announced.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually won't be over the budget, but...
No, it'll probably be under the budget.
because now they actually have billionaires backing them.
Exactly.
Yeah, apparently the first over-the-budget Battle Royal actually was, and they had to sell parts of the ring to pay for those people.
Yes, they did.
Indeed. So, yeah. That concludes the news. Did you guys get the answer to the trivia question?
I think I know.
All right, well, I'm going to let Glenn have the guess. Of the 4 winners of New Japan win their championship match, who was the first to do it?
I'm going for an older name, like a guy who's kind of does mostly opening matches. Is it Nagata?
It is Nagata Yuji!
Good guess.
I know he was a champion, and I know he's been around for a long time.
My guess was going to be Tanahashi. But then you said it was a much older person. I'm like, I'm not sure now.
Just remember, Tanahashi was a top guy when Brock Lesnar was their champion. That's who they wanted to. That's who they wanted to beat him for the belt.
My first guess was going to be Nakamura, but
and looking it up right now, Tanahashi was the inaugural winner.
Yeah, well, it's probably why I was thinking of him because I knew he won. I didn't know he was the inaugural, but I knew he won one of the first ones. But yeah, so that's a good guess there.
Blue Justice.
Yeah, the dude's a legend in Japan.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh man, dude, okay. if you are a Puro fan, I recommend you watch the Giant Baba Memorial Show that was on the 19th.